Get the thing right here. There you go. See who makes it here. Let's try to get this thing to act right. There we go. Let's let these folks get by, little buddy. What do you think? Yeah? Hey, good morning, y'all. How you doing? All right.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm the Red Ranger.
All right. I'm going to have to hold this thing because putting it on my stroller with my wingman here. You guys seeing? Well, you can see the feet of my wingman, I guess. But here we are, face to face. A couple of silver spoons. How's everybody doing this morning, man? We're out here, Monday morning trail. Monday's our easy workout. One of our easy workout days, I guess. Technically, there's no easy day per se, but today's workout is certainly less intense than my weightlifting workouts, as we just come out here in nature, get our 3-mile course on, probably get a couple of sprints up the hills with little man here. He always adds a little extra flavor to the workout because he weighs 900 pounds. But here we are. What you singing there, bro? Huh?
Go Power Ranger.
Go Power Rangers. So he's got his Red Ranger costume on that he was given because he is now potty trained. That was his gift. He got the Red Ranger costume. He got the Cheetah Beast blaster gun, the sword, and the Zord were his rewards for being potty trained and making it happen.
You got the mask down.
No, the mask came with the costume, but we left it at home so we don't lose it or break it because we need this costume to last till Halloween. Whew. So I'm working on ideas for my next podcast. In the shoot, so today we just launched part 4 of the laws of human nature. Today's law was the law of compulsive behavior. Talks a lot about toxic personality types, how those toxic personality types are formed in us, and it really drives the point home that you need to either not let people like that into your life or get them out if they're there. The book that I'm reading from doesn't go into too much detail of the how-to. I talk a little bit about how to get rid of toxic people in a bunch of different podcasts, including that one. But the best solution, the best and most effective solution is always just not, hey, good morning, is just not letting people in the first place. Because then you don't have to worry about getting rid of them. But there are ways to get toxic people out of your life, and most people that struggle with it, what they're really struggling with is rejection. They don't want to deal with the pain of having to confront somebody who's not doing them right. Because oftentimes when someone's not doing you right and you bring it to their attention, they're not necessarily all that enthusiastic to hear it or necessarily believe that it's true. So I get it, but it still has to be done. And truthfully, one of the points that the book kind of teases, but I drive home, is that, if you really want to be able to take command of your life and do the things you want to do, you got to take a hard look at the people you associate with and spend most of your time with. What'd you say, little man? What's going on?
I'll be going home.
Huh?
I'll be going home.
Already? You already ready to go home? We just got here. You specifically asked to come out on today's workout. So, nope. We still got 2.5 miles, bro.
Remember warning guys inside that house?
I didn't understand a word of that. So, but anyway, that's today's podcast. I think you guys will get a kick out of it and get a lot of just knowledge on how to navigate space. Also, one of the things the podcast is really going to help you with is not just getting rid of toxic people, but it's part of the game. Part of the solution is recognizing your own toxic personalities and how those play out in your life. And if you can be self-aware and root out your own toxic tendencies, then you can start to recognize those tendencies in other people, right? And then you can start to deal with it. You know, and as you recognize those things in yourself and remove them, well, you get better at that point of recognizing it in other people and avoiding them. So it's always a good thing to be able to avoid the toxic in humans. And we all have it. We're not immune, that's for sure. Hey, good morning. We all deal with it. So, you know, I actually talk in the podcast. I identify, when I start talking about the toxic types, I identify with some of them personally, just so that you can see, hey, I've got my own plate of ridiculousness that I have to deal with in myself. So nobody's judging. Hey, good morning. Nobody's judging. We're just observing and making improvements, man. It's really all we're trying to do.
I'm strong, Dad.
What's wrong, buddy?
I'm strong.
You're strong. I know you're strong.
I did working push-ups.
You did how many push-ups?
I did 1,000 push-ups.
You did 1,000 push-ups today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's more than I can do in a day. You're stronger than me.
Yeah. I can do whole night.
I can only do 500 push-ups in a day. So you're stronger than Dad is. That's for sure.
Hey, guys.
Yeah?
Hey, Dad.
Hey, pup. Hey, folks.
How you doing?
Good. Good to see y'all.
That's not Coach.
Nope, that is not Coach. You were correct.
That's Coach. That's Grandma. Where's Mr. Steve?
Where's who?
Mr. Steve.
I don't know what this dude be saying half the time. He just be rapping. Not like he's at that age where he's learning how to talk. So he just talks. And because developmentally he's a little bit behind, he talks like a kid that's a couple months younger than he is. So a lot of times he says words that I can't understand. It's like, what is this dude talking about? I have no idea. Let's see. Queensley Bood says, good morning. Shaw Lucky says, you got little man with you? I do. There he is. Oh, sorry. YouTube gets funky when I rotate the camera. Heaven forbid. Freaking YouTube. Are you singing Little Einstein, bro?
Yeah.
Very cool. Good morning to you on this lovely day, says Little Brown Fawn. Thank you, Little Brown Fawn. Good morning to you, too.
Oh my God. Did you see that bike go super fast?
I did see the bike going super fast.
Who's that kid wearing a bike and a helmet?
I have no idea.
It was a kid. It was a kid
Yeah?
at my house.
Okay.
Walking to my
Yeah, so he's at the age where,
on a
let's see,
hill.
Beat That Guy Game, he says, love your TikToks. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, so he's at the age where he's learning how to talk. So he just talks nonstop. Hey, good morning. And he just raps and raps and raps. Nobody knows what he's talking about. He'll say random things, and then he'll go into this thing we call 20 questions where, hey, Dad, is that a tree? Like, dude, you know it's a tree. Go sit down. Ain't nobody trying to play this game with you. Because we played it with him as a baby. So babies just mimic everything. Like, is that a tree? Yeah, it's a tree. So now he does it to us. Is that a tree? Yeah, it's a tree, man. I'm the one that taught you. What are you doing? Now, howdy, y'all. How's it? Hunter, I don't know that word, bro. Are you making up words again, bro? Or are you speaking some foreign Babylonian tongue that we don't know? It's good to see you, man. And I appreciate you guys watching the TikToks, man. It's fun to see people watch my stuff and enjoy it. It's also fun to see the countless videos I make that nobody watches. But I know why. I have got to get over well, not get over, I really have to accept that, one, the content that I produce is for a very small audience of people who are able to receive it, or willing to receive it is a better way to say it. I don't think anybody is unable, other than their unwillingness. And I'm just not, in short form content creation, I'm not a great storyteller. So, because people resonate way more with stories than they do with like truth or lessons, sometimes the things I'm talking about don't land because people need the story. And I've learned that too in the video game world, why I'm playing every video game like I wish the story wasn't here. I just want to play the game. But most people, I had a developer actually get mad at me one time on Twitter talking about how modern video games stories all suck. And he got mad. He's like, well, we have to do something to keep your attention. I'm like, how about make a game that doesn't suck, you shitbag? Like, how about make a game that's fun to play? Why don't we start with that? Then you can worry about baking your stupid ass story about how these dudes really work for the CIA, but they're in a racing cartel. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm just not interested. But realizing that most people are interested in kind of zoning out to stories. So sometimes I have to remember that philosophy is for the few, poetry is for the masses. And I tend to land on philosophy. But I appreciate those of you who do watch more than you know. The truth shall come from the mouths of babes. Tell me about it. Oh, ni hao is what you said. I didn't realize that. It said ni hodi. You talking ni hao. I know ni hao. So you had to say ni howdy. Oh, God. You freaking Texas people are weird. And I've lived in Texas, so I can talk about Texas. It's like Texas gets away with being corny and disguising it as being like big and bodacious and tough. It's like you're just corny. Like it's just enthusiastic cornballing. But we let Texas get away with it as just being bombastic and big. I'm teasing, man. He says I'm cultured, damn it. You just explained Fast and Furious. Yeah, I did. And there's a video game. One of those stupid racing games tried to be Fast and the Furious. It's like, I just want to race. And I was like, yeah, Brody's down by the docks. We got to go get him. And then he gets shot. Like, why am I watching a cutscene in a racing game? I just want to race. I just want to get in the car and drive it. Why are people talking? And I just have to accept that most of the world wants that to happen. Even though I think it's brazenly absurd that I'm watching two people, very uninteresting people, have a conversation that was made for a fourth grader. Like, ugh, no thank you. So, I'm working to get better at telling. It's not that I'm a bad storyteller. I just don't typically tell stories in 1 minute fashion. Maybe I'm a bad storyteller. I don't know. That's for you guys to judge, not me.
Okay, you told me.
Big B. What's up, Keith? Good to see you, man. Yeah. My little man says, what's up, Keith?
Sup?
That's Mr. Keith to you.
I saw my Red Ranger costume.
Huh?
I saw my Red Ranger.
Hey, good morning.
Why is that girl running?
See, LOL, I love visual stories as a writer, but I agree that story doesn't need to be in everything. Like a racing game. Yeah, and I just have to accept that most people are way more interested in myths than they are philosophy. Right, hey, good morning, y'all. So, because I'm obsessed with the interrogation of the truth in philosophy, it makes me a little less palatable. Because most people are interested in things that are interesting, whereas I'm interested in things that are important. And sometimes those two things meet. Sometimes interesting and important cross each other and it works. Most of the time, it doesn't. It's, I could easily make a reactionary show. If I was coaching someone on YouTube who wanted to make money on YouTube, this is what I tell them to do. Like, if you want to make money from your content, not money from what you're doing off of the platform, then you have to make content that resonates. And typically, that's getting an emotional response out of people. So I could easily just take like political things that are happening in the world and do reactionary videos to, hey, Trump did a thing, here's why it's good, here's why, like, keep it really objective. Here's why it's great, here's why it's terrible. You decide, and then let everyone in the comments yell at each other because they're idiots. But I'm not interested in, that would get a lot of viewership, it would get a lot of engagement, and I'm completely not interested in having that conversation with idiots. So it's like I'm not gonna make that type of content because only 12 people are gonna intelligently articulate themselves. Everyone else is just gonna scream their own ridiculous, retarded biases and opinions that they didn't fully flesh out or research. So it's what's interesting to the masses usually is not interesting to me, which, as a person who makes things or as an artist, even as a musician, it was always tough for me to resonate with an audience. Luckily, I had good mentors and advisors and managers that kind of helped me mostly realize that I didn't need to be in entertainment anymore. Or at least not that part of entertainment or art making. Are you doing any mentoring all the time? I never stop mentoring. I don't think most people like stories in racing games. Need for Speed The Run was hated. Well, that's good to know. So it's good to know that humans are rational sometimes. Stories are meant to do two things: put people to sleep or wake people up. Yeah, mostly put people to sleep. It's usually what a story. That's why people love stories so much. It turns off the active part of your brain, right? And it lets you numb the passive part of your brain that's yelling at you all the negative things it's yelling at you. A story puts the story in your head, and the story does the thinking for you. That's why it works so well. Because you don't have to do the work. You don't have to think. You just have to listen. And me telling you the story does the thinking for you. I've just never been interested in thinking for people. Although, now that I'm starting to gain following on the internet, it sure seems like a lot of people want me to do their thinking for them. Like, B, what are your thoughts on? Who gives a shit what my thoughts are? Go make your own thoughts. My thoughts are no better than anybody else's thoughts. But yeah, most story I want in a racing game is just a dude who signs up for an underground racing culture. Done. I don't even need that. Just press start and I'm in a car. Or here, select your car, go. Pick your car, pick a course, ball out. Race time. I don't even need to be in the tournament. Just let's get to work. What's up, Doc? How you doing, Stacy? Good to see you.
What's up, Doc?
He said, what's up? The Red Ranger says, what's up, Doc? Say what's up, Doc.
What's up, Dave?
Say what's up, Keith.
What's up, Power Ranger?
Ah, you're messing it up.
What's up, Keith?
So yeah, I tell you that little ditty about myself to help all of you who may want to create content. Point, moral of the story, is get good at telling stories. Something I am working to do more of. It's like, what interesting stories can I tell? Because I did a story video way earlier this year on TikTok. I think I titled it "The Third Time I Was Almost Killed." And it's a story about how my platoon sergeant inadvertently saved my life. Saved me from a pretty horrible death too. My platoon sergeant basically saved my life by disobeying my order, which I was fine with. It wasn't like I gave him an order and he brazenly disobeyed it. I just told him not to move our position because I felt like we were safe distance away from the explosion we were getting ready to create. We were not. And so he's like, hey, sir, appreciate your order. I'm moving the Humvee anyway. I said, all right, bet. I wasn't upset about it. He moves the Humvee. Not 30 seconds later, explosive goes off and we're taking shrapnel. Piece of shrapnel goes through my Humvee door, hits all my windows, hits the Humvee over the top. And I realized that the piece of shrapnel, among other pieces of shrapnel that went through my door, would have gone through my rib cage if he hadn't moved us. So people seem to like that story for some reason. Like a story about me almost getting killed actually it was training. We weren't. Good morning. All right, we're in the tunnel now. You guys don't usually see this tunnel because I avoid it because it kills the signal to my phone. But last time I did this, it seemed to work, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I like this tunnel. I like this tunnel.
Beat that guy gaming, and there it is. Thank you. Is your son a fan of Power Rangers? I love the original. He is, but only the new one with the brown kids. I think all the Power Rangers are brown now. That's the only one he likes. He won't watch the original one or any of the other stuff. It's just that one. What are you pointing at, bro? What do you see?
I see a tree.
You see a tree? There's a lot of trees out here, man. We're in the woods.
A tree, the field. I know it's pretty nice though.
So yeah, I'm working on being a little bit more deliberate in telling stories in shorter form content, just because I know people dig it. But yeah, that how I almost got killed story, people like that one. It blew up. It's like, all right, more stories about dying. I guess that's. But it made sense that it did well because, like I said, the human mind has been conditioned, especially in the modern world, to pay attention to things that are interesting, not necessarily that. What I was sharing wasn't, hey, good morning, y'all. The thing I was sharing wasn't terribly important to anybody who was listening. I mean, there was a moral to the story, which I didn't get to tell because I only had a minute to do the dang video. But the moral of the story was, when you're the boss, listen to your people, because sometimes you may think you know the right answer, but your team really knows the right answer, and you need to always be open to listening to your team's input, even though you're the boss and you have an idea of where you want things to be and how you want things to be. Just always be open to listening to your team because they have a different perspective. And my platoon sergeant in that case knew from previous experience that this shit could go wrong quickly. And even though, yes, where we were was technically acceptable risk, if a mistake was made, we could get killed. That mistake was made by one of our guys who was handling the explosive. So that mistake almost got me killed, but thankfully I had a platoon sergeant who was like, this dumbass freaking almost captain's about to get himself killed. Let me get him. Let me get it. Well, I might have been a captain. No. That was before combat, so I hadn't been promoted yet. I got promoted in combat. But he's like, let me help this dumbass lieutenant before he gets himself killed. You know, and thankfully I was not pig-headed enough to be like, I said stand your ground, and like try to pull rank and all that bullshit that people do because they're insecure as leaders. I was just like, all right, boss, if you think you got a better way, I don't have the monopoly on good ideas. Let's do it your way. We did it his way, and I got to come home. I wouldn't probably have come home from that had I not listened to him, or had I just not let him do his thing. Warms my heart that kids. Yes, sir. What's up?
Are we going home?
We're on the trail. Yes, we will eventually go home. I'm not going to leave you in the woods, crazy man. It warms my heart to see kids still watch Power Rangers. That's cool, man. Yeah, I never watched Power Rangers. I think Power Rangers started, at least in America. I think I may have been, I don't think I was quite in college yet. I think I was in middle school or high school. So I was too old. Like I had a little cousin who was a couple years younger than me that watched it. And I used to think it was, I did think Amy Jo Johnson was fine though. Thought she was fly back in the day. The Pink Ranger. But other than that, I had zero interest in Power Rangers. But I was too, it was like Pokemon. I was too old to get into it. You know, by the time Pokemon really exploded, I was teaching I was running a before and after school program at a school. I was working with kids who were playing Pokemon, and they were the ones educating me on it. Hunter says the sergeant in motion outranks an officer that's standing still. Never heard that before. That's an interesting idea. I would say ideas and execution trump rank every time. You know, I had an NCO who was the same rank as all of his peers when I first got started as a platoon sergeant, but he was better at what he did than his peers. He was the same rank, but he was younger and he was new. He was newly promoted to be a squad leader, and I made him my point man on patrols. And he didn't like that because he's like, sir, that really should be given to a more senior NCO. I was like, I don't give a fuck about your seniority, bro. You don't get our ass lost on these damn patrols. And we get to where we're supposed to be on time when you lead. So guess what? Deal with the fact that your peers are now beefing with you because I put you in a position, because you have that position because you were the most qualified to do it, not because of seniority or rank or any of that bullshit. I need to get this mission done. So I need you to get over your insecurities about leading other men who are more senior than you. Get busy. May God rest his soul. He didn't make it home from combat. He's actually my friend that I talk about in the story where he was killed by an IED. He's the guy I was talking about during my Memorial Day crying session. It wasn't really much of a video. I was just crying. But that was my dear friend, and I don't give a shit about his rank. I needed the mission accomplished, and whoever's the best man for the job's doing it.
Oh my God, he's dead.
I'd never cared less about being an officer. I thought that distinction between officer and enlisted was actually kind of silly. I thought some of the traditions were a little bit pompous. You know, one of my NCOs asked me, sir, why do all you officers call each other by your first name, but we have to call each other by rank? I said, Dick, which was his nickname. I said, would you like me to call you by I call you Dick anyway. Would you like us to go on a first name basis? He's like, well, sir, I'll get murdered if I call you by first name. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll call all of you by your first names or nicknames from now on in this unit. So that's what we did. Came up with nicknames or first names for everybody. It's like, fine, here you go. Doesn't have to just be officers who do it. Have fun. I said, frankly, I don't give a shit what you call me as long as you get my mission done. You can call me grandma for all I care. As long as we're out here winning, I don't have that hang up. But I think my style was a little non sequitur, to be honest. Probably wouldn't have lasted long if I'd stayed in the military. Because I don't believe in rules for the sake of rules. Rules serve a purpose. Otherwise, what are we doing? I was the White Ranger for at least 2 Halloweens as a kid. Oh, that's cool, man. Yes, Pink Ranger was fine. Tommy didn't deserve her. See, I don't know. I know the name Tommy, but I don't remember like the other characters' names. I just remember Amy Jo Johnson being fly at one point. She didn't last long though, as most actresses don't. He says the LT deployed I deployed with wouldn't listen to any of us because yeah, it's bullshit. He had bad teachers, man. It's unfortunate too. You know, one of the things, the school that I went to was known for turning out legitimately good officers, and it wasn't a secret formula that we had in our ROTC program. It was our officers in training all got their heads split by NCOs. We got our ass beat regularly by NCOs. So we didn't grow up we didn't grow up with the entitlement as officers that I've seen a lot of officers have, especially young officers. And unfortunately, I saw it most in the West Point guys when they first come out. Not always. A lot of West Point guys are freaking fantastic. I was almost a West Point guy. I declined my orders to go to West Point because I wanted to be in the NFL. But obviously that failed. My brother went to West Point, so no hate to the West Pointers. But I noticed with them, they had a little bit harder transition to dealing with NCOs. Some of them who didn't have a good teacher. Some of us that came up through the other ROTC ranks, if you went to a school that had a good program, that program had good NCOs. So basically, I spent my first 3 years as a cadet getting my ass beat by anybody from the rank of E7 to Sergeant Major, right? The same way a soldier would have to address a Sergeant Major. So you grow up in that system with a healthy respect for non-commissioned officers and soldiers, where you're not entitled and you're not the damn boss. In fact, it was my senior instructor, my third year, an officer, captain, Desert Storm vet, pulled me aside. He's like, listen, you got to lead from who you are. You got to be who you are. But let me make one thing clear to you, that a lot of other programs aren't going to make clear to these officers. He said, if you don't remember anything else I teach you, remember this: the Army does not need lieutenants. I said, Roger, sir, understood. He's like, that sounds stupid because I'm training you to be a lieutenant, but listen to me. The Army does not need your dumb ass. It needs fucking commanders and captains who can do shit. Lieutenants are those people in training. So shut your fucking mouth and learn from your NCOs. Yes, be in charge, take charge, and all that bullshit we teach you, but listen to these guys who are probably old enough to be your dad. Listen to them. Still be in charge and demand respect, of course, but listen and shut your mouth because you don't know anything. I was like, Roger, sir, got it. So when you have an officer that's entitled like that, he's just been trained poorly. He's been trained that that's how he's supposed to be. You're not friends with your soldiers. F you. I slept next to my platoon sergeant every day for God knows how long. You think I'm not friends with that man? Go jump off a bridge. Can't be friends with the P. Yes, I can. As long as he remembers, I'll put my foot in his ass if something goes wrong. We could be friends. And he should put his foot in my ass if I'm effing up. That's the relationship. And I demanded that from my NCOs. Like, if I'm effing up, pull me aside and square my ass away. I expect that of you guys. Don't let me be out here being stupid. I'd rather you correct me respectfully than let me look like a jackass. But again, it's training. It's education and training, man. LT almost got you killed. Damn it. Yeah, I had to actually chapter out an LT for getting the guy hurt in combat. Freaking dumbass kid. It's just like, come on, man. You got to be better than this. Why couldn't you have been my CO? I don't know. Probably, I don't know. I think I needed to be in the unit I was in. I was probably a little too underdeveloped and crazy to be anywhere else. But yeah, so if you have good leaders and trainers, man, you get, like, it's funny because I hear enlisted all the time, and I never really heard this joke when I was in about lieutenants. Well, you know, I've always heard you can't spell lost without LT, but I was like, who are all these lieutenants who can't do land nav? Who are these fucktards? Like, the reason why I was commissioned in the combat arms is because I murdered land nav. I was a freaking beast at it. Like, I'm like, who are these LTs that can't use a map? Like, that's one of the first things you learn as a cadet is how to navigate. I'm like, what school did they come up in that they get lost all the time? Like, who are these guys? Like, it was dumbfounding to me that there were officers who actually sucked at land navigation. I was like, it must be guys that work in offices or something, because we were always out in the woods or in the desert. So you didn't know how to navigate. Shoot. So yeah, I think that's hilarious. I'm like, who are all these lost ass lieutenants? 'Cause we, like, in my training coming up as a cadet, we had land nav beat into our ass. Like, We did some hard ass land nav courses, night land nav courses. Like we were better trained than your average officer. Like even in combat, having to train my guys on some shit that they didn't know in terms of small unit tactics. Like I had to basically run an ambush, and a lot of my guys hadn't been trained on how to do that properly. So I'm literally doing OJT with guys, boots on the ground. Like, all right, here's where you stand. This is your cover. This is your concealment. Here's your sectors of fire. Like, sir, what the fuck is a sector of fire? Like, how do you not know that? Sir, I'm new. Shit. All right, listen. So, anyway, all comes down to the training, man. I was fortunate that I came up in a system that was really good. I wasn't special. I was mediocre at best, but I had a lot of good help. So, there you go. Very true, which is why we call them butter bars. I was friends with most of the officers in my unit. You learn more and along better. Damn, I needed this respect and determination growing up. You're a good role model, bro. Wish I had a father like you. Oh, thanks, Jeffrey. I had a good father, man. I think that's the only reason I might be a decent role model, is because I had people model it for me. So if I can model it for you, I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it, man. Spartans, yo. Remember that. Land nav is so easy. I have no idea. Yeah, for the life of me, all the LTs being lost jokes, I thought it was just jokes. But apparently, that shit is real. It's like, who are these LTs? Like the pranks that my NCOs did to me were much more cruel than making fun of LTs for being dumb. Like when I first came in and I went to my basic course, you know, we have to get what's the test where they stick the finger in your butt? Not the prolapse test, that's what happens when your butt shoots out, but it's what's that thing called? The prostate exam. So they got to give you one of those. So I went to get mine, and I had this female doctor who's quite the large lady. She was about my size. I was like, okay, I don't see too many. I was like, she must be German. German ladies are typically larger ladies. Very attractive ladies, but bigger. And so we go through the exercise of me getting, a finger up my fourth point of contact and, going about my day. No big deal. I go back to headquarters, and two of my E6s are smiling ear to ear because they know I came back from the butthole exam. And they're like, hey, sir, one of them is like, hey, sir, which doctor did you get? I was like, what? Like, you just came from the prolapse exam or the prostate. You just came from the finger test, right? Yeah. They were like, which doctor did you have? And I said, I don't remember the name. And he said, was it a female? I said, yeah. And he goes, no, it wasn't. And I said, what? They're like, sir, that was a dude dressed as a female. You got a drag queen sticking fingers up here. I was like, what? And it didn't bother me. I was like, hell, oh well, if that's how this guy does his jam. Who cares? You're getting a finger in your ass either way. Like, whether it's a drag queen or Jenna Jameson, who cares? Like, it's not comfortable. So, how's that for stories? Lieutenant Hollingsworth put us in the middle of an anti-American protest in Baghdad. Jesus Christ. Yeah, prostate right there. You got it, man. See, we were fortunate. We had a guy like that in our chain of command that he wasn't that kind of dumb. He just was socially challenged. And we just told him, hey, look, we got this. Just stay your ass in your Humvee. We'll call you if we need you. But otherwise, hey, how you doing, folks? Otherwise, just man the radios and listen to see if we need anything. You don't need to be in the day-to-day operation. So I was a platoon leader, but I was also the XO of my unit. So you kind of wear two hats in our world in that position. There's, like a standard infantry unit would have two platoon leaders or three, and then they would have an XO on top of it. In my world, your XO is one of your platoon leaders, and it's usually the guy that's been doing it the longest. So basically, as a platoon leader in XO, you're in charge of 2 platoons. It's almost like having a company, but whatever. Because you're in charge of the maintenance and the platoon that's not the combatants, basically. You're in charge of that one too. So, you know, we had a guy up above us that was probably not as bad as Hollings Worthless, but challenging. And we just made it clear, listen, we got this. We've been doing this longer than you. Just let us do our job. You stay cool. He only did 2 things that made me get, because I went to kick his ass at one point during the war. I was about to, I was about to have a court martial because I went to choke his ass after we were balling, trying to get north from where we were. And we were taking like Hollywood, Fast and the Furious type explosions going off around us. Like, what in the F is going on? I don't have any intel on these explosions that are going off. Is that friendly or is that people trying to kill us? And he wasn't getting us the information. I'm like, dude, we gotta know these things. We can't have World War III kicking off 200 meters to our left and not have some type of situational awareness as to why it's there or if we need to defend ourselves or engage. And so when we got to a safer position, I came out of my Humvee and I was ready to just beat his ass. My first sergeant grabbed me. He was just like, sir, shut the fuck up and sit down. I was like, all right. My first sergeant always had my respect, so he always knew how to shut me up. It was like, all right. And there had been an incident where my first sergeant almost kicked his ass earlier that I had to talk to, like, first sergeant, man, you gonna fuck around and get a fucking Article 15 bullshitting with this guy. Like, you're too senior to be fighting with this dude. Sit your ass down and come on. Once bullets start flying, we're gonna be in charge anyway, so just fuck it. Just let him do whatever he's doing. You know, it's sad because sadly, outside of that environment, we like the guy. He's a good dude. You know, nobody knew more about our trade than he did in terms of technical proficiency. He was the most skilled officer in the unit. It was just when bullets started flying, I don't know if he was made for that world. CPK Diagnosis says, AB, you manicured the beard a little bit, looking fresher than any black hair to Kingston. Good morning. I appreciate that, PK. I trimmed it a little bit too much on this side, but it'll grow back. I needed to do some experimentation. I'm new to cutting beards, and I don't feel like running to a salon every time I need to get it trimmed, so I figured I'd take matters into my own hands and figure it out. So mistakes were made, but not irreversible mistakes, so lesson learned for next time. All right, buddy, we're at the halfway point, okay? Almost home. What'd you say, buddy? What? Did I do what?
Look at.
Oh, you want to look at the camera?
For this.
Let's get out of the street. What are you trying to say?
I put this thing up.
You want to put it up? Go ahead. Do you need help or can you do it?
I can do it.
There you go. right. What other questions you guys got for me, man? Yo, there's the man himself. Fresh from the potty party. Blessings. Yes, fresh from the potty party, man.
Yeah.
He's wearing his potty party gift, his Red Ranger costume today. For sure. They're saying congratulations, little man, for your potty training. You did a great job, man.
I'll be back the mega girl for me.
That's right. That's 100% right. That's because you did a good job.
Yeah.
When you do the right thing on earth, it's amazing. Good things tend to follow you, man. As long as you give it enough time of doing the right thing, eventually the world will respond.
This gotta be the Blue Ranger.
No, you said you wanted me to be the Green Ranger for Halloween, right? Or am I still supposed to be Darth Vader? You've been confusing me. I know you typically make me bad guys, but I don't know.
Mommy gotta make you a costume.
Yay for potty training. I know, right? Finally. Finally. And we can send this cat to school next year. Thank Jesus. Because, whew, that brother being at home when you're trying to teach other kids. Like, basically, it's not my day off from homeschooling. It's just my day with the easier kids. So they don't require as much attention. You know, they can kind of be trusted to do their work on their own and then just have check-ins. But on my days on with my first grader, that's all hands on deck, man. You ain't walking away from him, or you're not walking far before he's gonna have an issue. So on my days off, I'm usually with this guy, trying to keep him from destroying everybody's work and distracting everybody, because he'll just walk in the room and start talking and playing, and not really have a whole lot of regard for people trying to go to school because he doesn't understand. So yippee-ki-yay. Man, you guys are holding this live stream down. Nobody's left yet. The numbers have not dwindled. So by a show of something, whatever you want to say in the comments, how many of you guys are connected with me on TikTok? Like, I know Doc and Keith and Shot Lucky.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How many of y'all are connected on TikTok? You can just say me in the comments if you like, if that's easy.
Hey.
And if the YouTube stream is as far behind as my stream was last night, I'm gonna have to wait about 2 minutes before the answers to that question come in. Hell, I'm still potty trained. Great job, little man. It's funny. I'm telling you, good job, dude. So yeah, he comes with me to my workouts on Mondays. Okay. Whatever that song is, it sounds really...
It's from TikTok.
It's from TikTok?
Yeah.
When have you been watching TikTok?
Because
Who let you watch TikTok? I don't have TikTok, but I would check it out for your stuff. Oh, bless you, Queensland.
you have a motor. A kid.
Jeffrey says, enough time of doing the right thing and the world will respond. Brian Chambers 2020. I like that attitude. That's a lot of faith in humanity. Well, it's not so much faith in humanity as it is faith in the laws of physics, right? You reap what you sow. If I put an acorn in the ground, it might turn into a tree or it might die. But if I put enough acorns in the ground, the laws of physics and nature are going to make that turn into a tree. If I keep putting out stuff that makes people's lives better, yes, they're going to ignore it at first. And yes, they're not going to engage with the things that I'm creating for them at first. But if I keep going eventually and keep adding value, what eventually happens is those people become endowed with that value. When you're endowed with something, you don't want to lose it. So then you start to show the proper attention and the proper engagement to the good thing that's being done. When somebody does something nice for you, one time, you're inclined to return the favor, but usually that one thing is not that significant. But if you keep showing up and keep doing right, inevitably you're going to run into somebody who has a sense of Kantian fairness, and they're going to want to return in kind. So it's not so much a faith in humanity for me as it is a faith in mathematics. I just know that there are enough people who want to return good for good. Right? When you know that, you just do enough good. Good morning, y'all. Do enough good, eventually it comes back to you. The reason why enough people don't stick with it is because it doesn't happen overnight. Like, you go to the gym once, you don't get abs. But if you keep showing up to the gym and you keep eating right, you get abs. So it's not really so much a faith in people as my faith is a little bit more in math and the laws of nature. And it's more faith in I understand human psychology to a okay degree, I guess. Maybe a dilettante compared to a 30-year psychotherapist like Jordan Peterson, but I know a little something here and there. Many things I probably learned from him. So that's the game. Right? So it's not, you don't even need faith in humanity, just faith in math, baby. But I appreciate you quoting me. That's pretty cool. I think everyone that was in has stories of BS leadership. I was fortunate enough to serve under a couple. Yeah, me too. I was really fortunate, and I think it's a testament to how short my career was. That for the most part, my chain of command was 90% legitimate badass dudes I would follow anywhere. There was one or two of them who were douchebags, but they usually didn't have any direct influence over me and my team. They were just a pain in the ass every once in a while with other administrative stuff. Looks like we got a Bible study going on here. It's cool. Morning, y'all. Be blessed. Yeah, it looks like they're getting their Bible study on. That's pretty cool, man. Nice little social distancing Bible study group early in the morning. I can dig that. This TikTok stuff is great. Oh, thank you. I don't actually have TikTok, says PK. Seconded. If I have TikTok, I definitely rock with you. Cool, cool. I don't really get on there much, but I'll check you out. Sweet. I don't have abs. I have one big ab. Lies, Keith isn't tubby. I think I have 4 abs and then just skin that I'm working to rip out or whatever you call it. It wouldn't take too much effort on my part to cut what remaining belly fat I may have. It's not much. But I also don't really care about abs. And I know to get really, really sexy abs, you got to do shit that's not healthy anyway. So it's like, I'm cool. I'm not narcissistic enough to need an 8-pack that goes all the way to my balls, which means I'm crazily dehydrated and probably not feeling good. Good morning, y'all. As long as the missus still thinks I'm attractive, I'm cool. And I dress like a hobo, so even if I did have an 8-pack abs, it's not like people would notice, because I always look like a hobo when I'm out walking around. I mean, look, it's basically ripped sweatpants with holes in them and Spartans sweatshirt. That's kind of my uniform. That's my next major thing, get back into a workout routine. Okay, so why aren't you doing it now? Since it's your next thing, why aren't you doing it right now? What's stopping you? And no BS answers. What's really stopping you? Let's hold tight, buddy. There's traffic. I don't want to put you in danger, okay? Queensley says, what helps you stay motivated? I really want to change my life around, but it's hard to get out of one's comfort zone for more than a few days straight. It's a great question. So if you've been around me long enough, you've probably heard my quote that motivation is bullshit. Motivation, I don't stay motivated is the answer to your question, because motivation is only ever enough to get you started. discipline and the willingness to suffer for something that you want really badly is what keeps you going, not motivation. Motivation's fine to get you started. It will not keep you going because motivation runs out. You have to have something stronger than motivation pushing you, which has to be a huge desire for something very pleasurable or to avoid something very painful. So what you've got to do is do what my friend Kip calls getting leverage on yourself. And you need to figure out how to put what you're supposed to be doing as the means to get to the thing you want, right? So you got to figure out how to do that for yourself. But dude, I don't stay motivated. Every day somebody sends me a video of a veteran or a wife that's lost a husband that killed himself. I don't need any more motivation. I got friends dying. What else do I need to get my ass up and do good and try to make some content that lifts somebody out of a dark place or helps coach them on how to build a business so they can get out of their shitty job that's killing them, you know, or how to think like successful people so they can stop beating themselves up and judging themselves negatively. You know, like, why do I need motivation for that? The motivation is I don't want my friends to die. What else do you need? You know what I mean? You got to have that thing. I'm willing to suffer to make that not happen anymore. That's it. Your challenge is you don't have something you care about enough to put in the work. And so your job now is to experiment with a few things in life to figure out what that thing is so that you can be driven and appropriately driven. And for different people, that's going to be different things. All right, let's go. All right. What you got? Come on, Zach. I still got some wheels, man. I'm surprised. Thought I would have lost all my speed. Nope. All right, I totally take that 8-ball back with them angel eyes, whatever they call it. I start wearing Kanye shirts with holes. Morning, I've been following you on TikTok for a while. I'm improving little by little. Awesome. Glad to hear that, Hernan. Bless you. Shannon's laughing at the hobo. You made me answer the what's stopping you question. The answer got me off my ass to push for my dreams. Yes, sir. Good. PK says, got really sick a few weeks ago. Lost a ton of weight and all my gains. You didn't lose all your gains. A lot of your gains are mental, right? A lot of your gains are mental. If it's a strength gain, it's mental. It's just getting your head back in the game. That'll take you less than a month. If you lost some size, don't worry about it. It was probably body fat anyway, right? If you lost it that quickly. So just keep working, you'll be fine. Fat goes a lot easier than muscle, man. Salam, brother. I see you, man. Shannon says medical issues. Had brain surgery almost 1 year ago, still recovering. I get out with the kids coaching soccer, but I need to do more without pain. No impact. Okay. So with your situation, you need to do low impact or no impact. Let's go through it, right? You can get out to soccer with you. Can you walk? Can you do what I do on these morning walks? Can you walk anywhere from 1 mile to 3 miles? Right? There's impact with walking, but can you do it? Can you swim? Right? And I don't mean like crazy, Michael Phelps swimming, but can you just be in a pool for an hour moving around? Right? Find ways. Like I'll give you a way less severe example because my injuries are not as severe as yours. But I've told you guys about my neck and shoulder issues, right? Where on any given day, without some type of medication, from here all the way down to the posterior deltoid, the back shoulder muscle, on any given day, if I don't have a painkiller or cannabis or CBD, I have anywhere from level 8 to level 10 pain. That pain, whether I'm 8, 10, or whatever, prevents me from doing squats anymore because my arms, I have the arms of someone who's 6'6", because I was genetically born to be taller than I am. My growth was stunted because of basically a birth defect that I have, right? So I have super long arms, and getting them back here is extremely hard for me just to get them there, let alone have to put 405 pounds on my back and squat it up, right? So I cut squats out of my routine completely, which hurt me because squats are one really good way to feel like a man. You squat 600 pounds and then get up and walk away, you're gonna feel pretty good about yourself. So from an ego perspective, it hurt, but I had to do it physically. So I just have to find ways to work around the injury. So that's what we want to do for you. You have a legitimate reason why you're not working out. That's not just an excuse, but it can become an excuse if you stop trying to find solutions to solve the problem. So that's all. Just got to find something that works. And workouts, it's like I tell people, man, your workouts don't have to be like mine. They don't have to be these crazy, turn it up to 11, lift weights till you feel like you're going to throw up. Like, just seriously go walk steadily for an hour, do it once or twice a day, and eat right. You'll be in great shape. You don't need crazy, military NFL workouts like me and my crew do. You don't need that. You just take it simple. But just be consistent. That's what most people don't get, is everyone can be intense for a month and then quit. But I need you to do a workout that's gonna let you stay consistent over a year, 2 years, for the rest of your life. Sasha, what's up, girl? That's my sister right there. I miss you too. How the boys? I'm working a lot in school, homeschooling kids, a lot going on, but I'm refocusing. Okay, cool. Without struggle, there is little story. Every adventure has struggle. Indeed. I am Omar, a Muslim from America. Salam Wyndham. Actually, you wouldn't say Wyndham. That's Amharic. You would say, well, I'll say Wyndham right now. I can walk. I love hiking. There you go. So, no. You don't need to do that more. Get your ass off this stream. Go for a walk right now. Bye. I'll see you later. I'll see you on our next YouTube stream. Get off of here. Go walk. Bye. Don't hang out here no more. Hold on. Let's see. Trying to get the comments. Do you have any ways to practice being uncomfortable? Yeah, tons. I take cold showers. It's a good way. And ask grocery checks, clerks for discounts. Wait, yeah, you're doing it. Yeah, that's what you're doing is fine. Walk up in the next week, walk up to 7 random women, if you're a guy, ask them out. See what happens. It's another way to do it. If you're single and a dude and, heterosexual, ask out 7 women. If you're gay, go ask out 7 dudes. Just random people you meet in the street you find attractive. Go ask them out and get right to it. Like, hey, I saw you in the street. I thought you were wildly attractive. I'm kind of hoping the personality matches the visual. Can we explore that? Can I take you to coffee? Done. And yes, some people will reject you because that's too forward. Other people who have a personality more like mine and be like, hell yeah, let's go. Why not? And then you realize you find a style that works for you, and you realize some people are going to dig it, some people ain't. You keep it moving. Sasha says, all is well. I'm glad to hear that, lady. How did school finish up for you? Are you a PhD now? Are you retired? And you're retired PhD? You got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Stacy's got to run lunch with the estranged daughter. All right, have fun, Stacy. We'll catch you later. I'll be on TikTok here in a little while doing our morning reading. Yeah, with surgery, my other disabilities, it's been rough, but I'm working on. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you. I haven't had surgeries, but I deal with daily chronic pain. I'm with you. So just work around it. That's all you got to do. And the key too is experiment, like swim, walk, do things that are lower intensity, but that you can do for an hour and still get the heart rate kicking. And then just be consistent with it and try different things, like playing soccer with your kids and see what you like. Like, I like lifting weights because it's intense, it's extremely hard, and it makes me feel like an aggressive animal, which is a part of my personality type that I don't get to let out a lot because I'm around cowards and pussies, right? That's just earth. So I go to the gym to choke weight so I don't end up choking people because I don't ever want to hurt anybody. But sometimes people's weakness and cowardice bothers me, you know. So I take it out in the gym. Taking the dog to training. Gonna walk her. See you next. There you go, Shy Love. Shy Love. Dang it. I think Shy Love is a porn star. Sorry. Shy Love is what I'm supposed to call you. Or Shy Lucky. That's your name. Shy Lucky. I don't know why I was thinking Shy Love. But love to Shy Lucky. There you go. Oh, looks like the big boys were outside. And not everybody. Here's little man for you, Sasha. My wingman's with me today on today's workout. Wave to Auntie Sasha. Ah!
Hi.
Hi. Coach is right where we left her. No, he was asking where you were. I said he's right where we left her. Yep, they should, man. Go get your rest. All right, buddy. Workout's over. Good run on the hill, man. Let's get out of here, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Come on.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Go get her. Go get the dog. Ah. All right. Looks like your brother's on. Somebody steal my pen already? It's all right, guys. I'm trying to get my laptop out and my pen. But it looks like somebody jacked my pen. Oh, no, here it is.
What's my mouth?
I don't know. All right, let's set that up. Let's go out here where my water is. Outdoors. I think my boys are probably at the playground doing recess. Yep, with one of their buddies. All right. Do you do these types of live chats often? Yes. So we try to do the morning workouts every Monday. I do a live stream every Thursday night called Thursday Night Live at 8 p.m. So we try to do the morning Monday workouts at 9:30 here on YouTube. Then also on YouTube, I do my 8 o'clock p.m. Thursday Night Live. Usually we go from 8 to 10. Sometimes it goes 8 to 9. Just depends on how the crowd is. On YouTube, Thursday Night Live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I do ad hoc streams throughout the day and on other days when I don't have stuff going on. Like tonight, I have a call with one of my Navy SEAL brothers, so I probably won't stream because I'll be on the call with him, taking care of business and helping him out. But I'll stream, and like probably at some point today, I'll do a TikTok stream as well, just to get the TikTok folks squared away. So what I do in my morning routine, I've got PT when I get up. I got PT and meditation, and then I drink my green tea, or in this case, I think it's what's the name of this tea? Oh, Jesus. I did not realize that's what I was drinking. That is bad. Oh, damn it. I need to start paying attention to the freaking tea boxes. I just drank chamomile tea, which isn't good because that's usually what you want to take when you go to sleep. I thought I was taking something else. I thought I was taking turmeric tea, but apparently I read the box. But yeah, so we do streams pretty often is the answer to your question. You said an Army officer without a pen. What kind of example is that? I know, right? But I do have my pen, Keith. Don't hate me just yet. I do have it, bro. I just had to find it. I'll stay while I drive to Woodbridge from Southern Man. Damn, you got to drive all the way to Woodbridge? And then jump over to TikTok if you switch. Sweet. Well, if you're going to Woodbridge, say hello to Sasha. You'll be in her neck of the woods. All right. Did my laptop shut down? Why is nothing happening? Yeah, it did, actually. No, the battery didn't die. It better not have. No, it's on. There it is. Wow, just that little time sitting in the sun, my water warmed up. It's crazy. It's actually chilly out here. Chamomile leads to a mellow Monday. I know, but I'm not trying to be too mellow. I need to be sharp. I need to be sharp. So yeah, typically Mondays at 9:30 we do the PT walk with Zach. Sometimes he's with me, sometimes he's not. Sometimes I wear body armor. Today I didn't. I was feeling a little bit nauseous when I got up today, so I didn't want to push it too hard. But that's Mondays. Tuesdays I usually work out in the evenings because I'm teaching first grade on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So my morning is straight up get up, feed kids, get kid in class. Like I'm way more active with the kids on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then we stream throughout the week. I typically will shoot my podcast on Wednesday night, so I usually don't stream then. Which reminds me, I need to text. We're going to have, that's what I was trying to get into was the actual podcast schedule. Oh, it looks like my computer needed to, oh, it's updating. That's why it shut down. Okay, cool. I'm going to have a guest on this next podcast, which is going to be super, super powerful. You're going to hear a story about a guy who was led to start a church and then all of the hell he went through in doing it. And even, church people turning their backs on him and not helping him and cowards in what we call the body of Christ, just trying to hold him back from doing what he knew God was leading him to do. It's a fantastic story, man. You think somebody starting a church, it would be this kind of unicorns and rainbow story, but it's like, nah, there's $80,000 in debt while he's trying. It's crazy, man. So, and we're just going to talk about what it means to be a man in America, how a lot of the values and the characteristics that men should have are becoming more and more vilified. And it's not new. Like the thing that I try to encourage American men with very heavily is this wanting to feminize men is not a new concept. It's not unique to America. This is something that happens in every civilized society. The more civilized a society gets, the more it vilifies what makes men men. And a part of being a man is the capacity to be brutal, right? Because there are scenarios in life where being brutal is actually the best strategy, right? And civilized society wants to remove that brutality from men because it knows that brutality can be turned on the society. But the way you ensure that a man's brutality never gets turned on the society is proper conditioning and education at a young age to know that you are supposed to be a monster. You're supposed to be brutal and harsh and cold at times, and you're equally supposed to be warm and romantic and loving. It's like if you read stories about even the most brutal times in human history, a lot of those tribes that were like just murderers were also crazily loving and warm to the people who were inside their tribe. Like they weren't just brutal, right? But the key to becoming a man is getting in touch with and tasting that brutality and then learning how to master it, harness it, and then use it for good. That's the game. So, but a lot of society, especially the more neurotic parts of society, are afraid of that man. So they want to turn him more into a woman. And not to say that women can't be brutal, not to say that women can't be aggressive, they can, but biologically, the female sex typically has less testosterone and therefore less inclined to have those tendencies, right? So there's that. So all the stuff I was working on just closed, which isn't the end of the world because it's all saved and backed up. But when you said body armor, I totally thought you meant combat armor, rifle in hand, etc. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I wear body armor like I'm in combat, except I'm using it for weight, not for combat. That's exactly what I mean. Which podcast do you talk about the difference between a laborer, entrepreneur, and freelancer? So it's not in the podcast, it's actually in my coaching program. That's actually one of the lessons I teach is called entrepreneur, freelancer. It's called laborer, freelancer, entrepreneur is the name of one of the lessons in the Good Life Playbook. And it teaches everyone in the class how to know whether they're an entrepreneur, a freelancer, or a laborer. And what I have found with most of the people that I coach is that many of them are trying to be entrepreneurs, but what they really are is freelancers. And it's a lack of self-awareness. It's watching too many gurus on the internet and thinking, oh, that's what I have to be in order to carve out the life I want. And it's just not true. There's plenty of freelancers who are multimillionaires, who are not entrepreneurs. You know, and some of them have been entrepreneurs, but they knew their DNA was more freelancer, and so they did the freelancer stuff. You know, they did the entrepreneur game while they needed to, but then eventually just accepted their role as a freelancer. But yeah, most people that think they're entrepreneurs are actually freelancers. That was the takeaway from that lesson. So what I've got to decide is I think I'm going to do the interview podcast this week, and then I've got to do the Aristotle. So we're going back to the story of philosophy in a couple of weeks for part 2 with Aristotle. I'm working on a podcast called The Joy of Outrage. If you've read Greg Gutfield's book, the Fox News commentator, which I know just saying the word Fox News is going to trigger people, but it's actually a really good book. And he's got a very interesting perspective. You know, he's a conservative, but he started his life as a super liberal. So it's an interesting story because you see how a guy makes a transition from one belief system to another. And those stories are always more interesting to me than someone who just blindly believes in a thing and that's what they believe their whole life. Like a person who started their life as a super liberal, like I think he went to Berkeley, which is the most liberal school on the planet, and then eventually kind of comes to some conclusions on his own. That's an interesting story. Whether you believe or share his views or values is irrelevant. It's an interesting story. It's way more interesting to me than my family, which is just all liberals. Like that's what they were raised as. That's what they think. My family's more nuanced than that. Obviously, I had a great hangout with my brother, and he's like, I listen to conservatives, and I can hear where they're coming from. I said, of course you can. You're a rational human being. Of course you can. But yeah, so it's the joy of hate it's about a similar concept to what I'll be talking about in the joy of outrage. But I'll be getting a little bit more into the psychology of why we have this joy. Why is there so much outrage in the world and on the internet? Why do we overreact to things that are really just a part of humans being here? Like, we see a black man get senselessly murdered in broad daylight, and it's a horrible thing, right? By a police officer. And that's something that should never happen. But the reality of the universe is things like that happen. They just do, pre-fuck kids. Like, I don't know what to tell the world. Like, yeah, bad shit happens. And no amount of us screaming on the internet is going to change that. What's going to change that is us being better educated and developing better leaders across the world. Protests, marches, do all that. But then what are we going to do when the march is over? That's what I've always been more of, like, to use a church term, I've always been more of I don't really know how to call it, but I've been less of a rah-rah guy, more of a what are you going to do about it? Like, I appreciate that we're going to go do this march and holler and demand that we be heard, but what are we physically going to do about it? Because the protest to me means nothing if there's no plan of action to actually solve the issue, right? So like for me, I joined a coalition of politicians and business owners a couple weeks ago that I meet with semi-regularly to talk about how can we create opportunities for the less fortunate and for people that don't get opportunities, and how can we educate people on how to be better human beings, right? And so for me, I'm focused specifically on the veteran aspect of that. There's people in the group who are focused on helping, blacks and other minorities, women. My focus is obviously on veterans, and you have different people in the group focusing on helping different groups of people who are less than less than fortunate. So, but I've always been more interested in what you're doing than what you're saying. And your march and your protest is great. do it. It's your right. And what are you going to do after the march? And if you think just marching is going to fix something, then don't ask me to march with you because you're wasting both of our time. You know, humans have a tendency to emotionally overreact. It's oh my God, now I'm afraid to let my kids go out in the street. Why? Because there's a chance harm is going. There's a chance, like literally, there's a chance a plane could fly over your house, lose one of its engines, and its engine can land on you and kill you. And the reason why I use that as an example is because that is more likely to happen than you getting killed by a shark or a police officer. So, you know, if humans are prone to overreact with our fears because we don't understand the world we live in. Our brains evolved for a much more primitive and brutal world than the one our technology has created. So we're still a bunch of scared animals and we overreact to everything. That's what being a human is, man. That's why, you know, Plato and Aristotle used to teach in order to understand politics, you have to understand psychology. And that's why you always end up with retarded politicians, because the people are too busy watching Pornhub and Netflix to study fucking psychology and history. That's all. That's all there is to it. You study those. If you could get the whole world studying those two things once a day for a month, half the bullshit on the internet that you see happening all the time would stop, because people would realize how retarded they are. Like, damn, I'm an idiot. Like, yeah, you are. Welcome to Earth. There's a solution for that. Here's a book. Go read it. If people aren't pushing for meaningful, thoroughly thought out specific change, then they're just pushing for feel good. Yeah, it's true. You're saying some wise words. I'm just saying what I see, man. Just saying what I see. You know, and that's why, like, I couldn't wait to homeschool my kids because I teach them this stuff. You guys have been here while I've taught two of my sons business principles that if you guys would apply to your businesses, you'd kill it. I was trying to help my son get his jewelry business off the ground because he started making handmade jewelry. He's in first grade and already starting a handmade jewelry business. He just sent out his first products Saturday evening. You know, and then my other son makes art, and I told him how to go market it at the playground to the other kids. Because then once you market it to the kids, they go home and tell their parents. Their parents give up the money and tell other parents. Next thing you know, you got a whole business of people coming to you to buy your stuff, not you always having to go to the playground, or in this case, always having to go to social media. You can have people coming and looking for your products. I get emails all the time like, hey, I heard about this Good Life Playbook program you have. I'm interested in it. Or I heard about this secret knowledge society that you run. That's, you know, this exclusive group of entrepreneurs and people who want to do good in the world. How do I get in that? Oh, you don't. It's very hard to get into that. It's easier to get into the Good Life Playbook, but the other program, I screen everybody that we let in because I only want the best. People who are actually out there making life better for other people, right? But I don't have to market that a lot. I have people coming to me because I know how to put it out there in a way that other people help spread it. Cool. All right, how much battery do I have left? Hold on 1 second, gang. Oh, it's not gonna let me do that. YouTube doesn't want you to see jack when you're on it. Stand by, friends. Actually, if I do that, it might shut the stream down, so I better not do that. All right, what other questions do you guys have for me? And I am now on to reading about Aristotle, so I can get ready for the Aristotle podcast in a couple of weeks. I didn't know Alexander the Great was also epileptic. I knew he was an alcoholic. I didn't know he was epileptic, though. That's crazy. All right. Pull up my email so I can email myself my notes. First of all, the name Aristotle has to be the illest name I've ever heard in my life. I should have named all my kids Aristotle. It's just a dope name. Ooh, that's a good quote. That's exactly how we're going to open the podcast. All right, so here's the quote. This is the quote we're going to open that podcast with. Life, says a Greek adage, is the gift of nature, but beautiful living is the gift of wisdom. That's awesome. I'm telling you, man, this guy is the freaking king. It's probably, he might be my favorite author. I don't know. Stephen Pressfield's pretty dope too. All right, let's see what else Aristotle has to add. Wow, I got that many pages without a highlight. Usually I can't get 2 pages without highlighting something Will Durant said. The Greek disdain of manual work kept everybody but the listless slave from direct acquaintance with the process of production, from that stimulating contact with machinery which reveals, detects, and prefigures possibilities. This is a side idea, but I think it's one the audience will benefit from. So, reading. Page 64. Yeah, if you guys got questions for me, business questions, life questions, get them in. Now it's time for the Q&A, guys. How can I help you today? How can I be of service to you? How can I make your life and or your business better? That's a great quote. Totally reading that. Maybe Aristotle is my spirit animal. I'm going to read this quote to you and tell me if this doesn't describe me and the content that I produce. What's up, Cheese? Let's see. Aristotle gives us science, technical, abstract, concentrated. If we go to him for entertainment, we shall sue for the return of our money. I think that describes what I do pretty well. It's like if you're coming to me for entertainment, might be a little disappointed. Just signed up for the Good Life Playbook. How do I access the courses? The link on the confirmation page does not work. Okay, I'll get you the link. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry. I just got the message on my phone that you joined. In fact, I could probably email that to you now. Let me pull up your email address. And thank you for letting me know that the link doesn't work. That's good to know. Let's pull up the actual link. And let's go fix the link that's busted. I wonder where the link is taking everybody. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, and congratulations on getting into the program. And thank you for the opportunity to serve you, my friend. That's awesome. Very awesome. Let's get you all set up. First, let's fix the page that's jacked up. Let's figure out where this is taking people. So did you click on the link that says access your private courses now? Let's see what it... No, the link is right. That should have worked. But you know what? Some people, depending on the security settings on your computer, have issues when they click the links with stuff not popping up properly. You might want to check some of your firewall or like virus scanning settings, but because the link on the website's right, but I need to know what link you're clicking on, so I got to be able to go through the process myself to make sure you're actually getting to the right page. Either way, I can still send you the right link, and hopefully from your email it'll work, if not from the web page you're clicking on. All right. Wait a minute. Hold up. Whose email address was that? Oh, I thought that was mine. I'm like, why is my email address in here? It's not. You misread it. All right. Let's get Rydera's email squared away. What the hell? Why is this being ridiculous? What the hell was that? All right there. I just sent you an email. Hopefully that fixes your problem, my friend. And yeah, like I said, congratulations on getting in. It's going to change your life. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you, man. That's what I get out of bed for. So appreciate you. Cheese says, hey, B, how's it going? I got a question for you. How do you diffuse yourself when you are getting angry for something that is really not a big deal? Well, first of all, I would immediately, if you're getting angry over stuff that's insignificant, the immediate change in energy you want to immediately switch to gratitude. You cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. Physiologically, your body can't sustain those two states. So what you want to do is when you feel that anger coming on, stop, sit somewhere that's quiet, and I want you to write down 100 things that you are grateful for. Big, small, significant, insignificant, doesn't matter. Write down 100 things that you are grateful for. And in the process of doing that, you focusing on gratitude and what you're thankful for puts you in a different physiological state. Too many times people are trying to think their way out of their mind. You got to act your way out. That's the trick that a lot of people aren't taught is most people try to think their way out of depression or anxiety. They try to rationalize their way out of it. That doesn't exist. Your primitive part of your human brain is very animalistic and it doesn't want to listen to your rational brain when it's upset. When it's calm, it'll listen, but when it's upset, it's not going to. So you have got to condition the primitive brain to behave properly despite what the outside stimulus is. So when you change your behaviors, you inevitably change your thinking, which inevitably changes the way that you feel, and the anger will subside. That's it. Also, another exercise you can do is whoever pissed you off, pull up your email, leave the to field and the subject blank, and write them a scathing effing email, like as scathing as you can make it. Anger, get it all out, and then as soon as you're finished writing it, delete it. It's a trick Abraham Lincoln used to use. Get your anger out, but then let it go. And there's all kinds of different ways you can change that physical. I mean, I've even heard one coach go as far, and this is pretty extreme. I don't know that I would recommend this, but one coach used to teach, like, let's say it's one, like you're a man, let's say you're a heterosexual man, and there's a woman in your office that's pissing you off and being really disrespectful to you. His solution was to imagine yourself having sex with that person. He says, and he won't be angry anymore. He's like, and imagine having the worst, most vile, but consensual sex you can have with that person. And he's like, then you won't be angry anymore. You'll change your emotional state to sexual and creative energy versus anger and destructive energy. I was like, that's an interesting, I don't know if I'd try that method, but yeah, I don't know, give it a shot, see if it works. I'm having a hard time with that, and I know because you're about to explode because you're not letting the anger has to come out, and you're suppressing it. That's unhealthy. It needs a way to come out. And that's the other thing too. Like gratitude will change your state, but you also need the anger is trying to tell you something. You're angry for a reason. You need to deal with that reason. Yeah, I don't know what that was about, guys. My apologies. My stream just cut off there for a second. Yeah, but so you also need to channel the energy. I always tell people to channel anger as creative energy. Whenever I'm angry, I try to create something. And usually what I create is pretty dope when I'm angry, because anger is a pretty powerful emotion. And it can drive a lot of creativity if you know how to use it. Think like an alchemist. You have to transmute energy into different energy, is basically what it is. Says page you're looking for doesn't exist. I'm at work and no. Yeah, so it's a firewall issue. The link's fine. So basically what's happening, and I guarantee why your work is killing it, is you're clicking on that link and it's referencing another link on the internet, right? And so I guarantee your work is realizing that and thinking, oh, this is malicious. This redirect is going to take him to a porn site that's going to steal all his information. It's not. But your work security settings are probably preventing the link I'm giving you from referencing the real link. If I sent you the real link, it's crazily long and it's gibberish, and it's, our coaching website uses gibberish ass links. So I use subdomains to get you there, and so it's a redirect. And I imagine the firewall at your office is just killing the redirect. But the link's good, and the link on the website's good too. So when you get home, you'll be able to access it, or just try to pull it up from your phone if you can, if you're allowed to have your phone at work. I will try out those techniques. I always try to think my way out. But yeah, you got to act your way out, my brother. All right, where'd we leave off? The Greek disdain for manual labor, I think, contributed to a lot of the issues we have in America, frankly, because I think Americans are so obsessed with retirement in this bullshit sitting on a beach dream that every baby boomer was sold. Like, just work for 30 years, then you get to take a nap. Like, humans weren't built to sit on their ass, guys. Retirement is a lie. You can have a retirement like pay. That's fine. Enjoy that. I'm just saying, you are not going to enjoy sitting on ass for the rest of your life. unless you're a person that has, very little ambition or drive. And if that's you, you're probably not attracted to the stuff I'm doing anyway, so it ain't you. All right, Aristotle gives us science, technical, abstract, concentrated. If we go to him for entertainment, we shall sue for the return of our money. I think that very aptly describes what I do. The first great distinction of Aristotle is that almost without predecessors, almost entirely by his own hard thinking, he created a new science. Ooh, yes, write that down. I did not realize Aristotle is who we attribute this part to. See, and I've read this book and I highlighted it. You forget stuff, man. I have forgotten more stuff than I'll ever remember. That's for dang sure. But that's why I do podcasts and talks. Helps me remember and helps me learn. What are the questions? You guys are asking some really great questions today. I appreciate that. What else you got for me? Or do you want me to let you go? Nice. All right. The first great distinction of Aristotle is that almost without predecessors, almost entirely by his own hard thinking, he created a new science, logic. And I hate him for it ever since. I've been so obsessed with logic to my own detriment so many times. Because I struggle with things that are illogical. I'm like Spock, man. Like, so much of the world is completely irrational and illogical and overly emotional. I know all human beings are highly emotional creatures. It's what we are. But damn, like, can we just be logical sometimes? I've worked in places where the social currency is not getting the mission done, but it's appeasing the higher ups and looking good so that you can get promoted. And to me, that's the behavior of a fucking coward and somebody I don't want to be around. But I've found that a lot of professional environments are like that's why I don't belong there. It's why I'm unhireable because I get in those environments. People start to drive me nuts. I, as a leader and as a person who's run companies and commanded units, start trying to take charge of all the fucked up shit to fix it. And you realize that people don't actually want to fix it. They just want to keep showing up every day and getting their checks for doing bullshit work. And it's like, okay, that's what you guys. If you guys are comfortable getting six-figure salaries to be mediocre, then by all means continue. I can't live with you because I don't hang out with cowards and pussies. Sorry. I need to be somewhere where people are trying to win. And it was funny. It was one of my friends that played in the NFL that gave me that advice years and years ago. This was over a decade ago. I was just telling him how I was struggling with where I worked, and I explained the situation to him. He's like, "Oh, dude." He's like, "You're on a team that doesn't want to win." I was like, "What? Say that again?" He's like, "In the NFL, dude, there's teams that just go through the motions. They're just guys that are there collecting checks, and they're not really trying to win. They're just there for the hang, for the fame or whatever, but they're not there to actually win." He's like, "You're on a team that just wants to go through the motions and collect their check and be comfortable." He's like, "You're not on a team that wants to win." And he's like, "Dude, you're a warrior. You can't be on a team that doesn't want to win. You can't be on a team that just wants to get by. You'll never succeed there. You'll never be happy, and you'll go nuts." And so that was kind of my wake up call to got to get the hell out of there, because those people were not going to change. No matter how much I tried to change them and tried to help them, they just didn't want it. It was like dealing with a freaking crack addict. In fact, they used to joke about it. They used to joke about being like alcoholics and crack addicts. We just don't change. You have jokes about sucking now. You're so comfortable with sucking that you have jokes about it. That's great. Glad I landed on this team. And it's just a different mentality. I'm not even saying that they're wrong. Maybe the way they're doing business is fine and they're accomplishing whatever it is they want to accomplish. I'm just saying I can't be on a team. If you're not trying to win, I can't be on your team. If you're not trying to take over the world, I don't want to help your project. I'm just not interested. Or take over your world. Try to be the best at what you do. I'm not really interested. Like, I want to be the best guy ever to talk about and help people become warrior leaders. I want to be the best. I want to be the guy that they point to, like Tom Brady. Like, that's the Tom Brady of, developing leaders all over the world. That's him. That's the legacy that I want. I want to be around other people that want that type of legacy. So if you find yourself in places like that, by all means, please get out of there. If you have the same, like if you're okay with just doing a good enough job, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the way those people were operating. There's nothing more ethically, I'd say there's probably something wrong with it, but morally, not necessarily. And I'm not necessarily saying my way is right. I just know my way, and I can't be around people that don't support that way. It's the way it goes. And it's why you can't hire me in a company, because the only thing, if you hire me in your company, we'll either become $1 billion business or I'll destroy your company. Like, by hell or high water, we're going to make this thing fucking rock. And if you ain't in this game to rock, don't talk to me. I'm not in the game to just get by. I want to be, like my boy said, my NFL brother said, you got to be on a team that wants to win. You got to be on a team that's playing to win the Super Bowl and doing everything they can and bleeding to win. He's like, if you're not on that team, you're never going to be happy. He's like, and frankly, you've got to create that team because it doesn't exist. And I said, Roger that. Done. Too easy. Stephen Harvey. What's up, Stephen Harvey? Good to see you. Good morning, Miguel. The world needs drones / employees. Agree or not? I wouldn't necessarily call them drones. I mean, we tend to, entrepreneurial minded people and freelancers tend to kind of look down on someone who's a laborer, but I wouldn't. I don't think they're drones. I think there are people who are wired to maintain order, and the earth needs order. It needs chaos too. But entrepreneurs are by nature chaotic energy. And if it's all entrepreneurial spirited people in a company, that company won't last long because it's going to be a bunch of good ideas, very limited execution, and not sticking with things because entrepreneurs aren't wired. We are wired to move to the next thing when we get bored. It's just in our DNA. And so you've got to have people that keep things running and keep things in order. And that's what I think a laborer is. We call them drones or sheep, but I don't believe that at all. I really think some people are. But I think the average person who's a laborer is just a person who is dedicated to, they understand the value they add is maintaining order inside a group, a community, or an organization. And those people are insanely valuable. Well, I would never call that person a drone. Without them, your business doesn't exist. Right. And there's just some people who are better at being the executioner. Think of like a soldier versus an officer, right? If you made a unit of the most elite officers in the world, not a lot of shit would get done because everybody would be planning and giving orders. You would not have that 240 gunner or the 203 guy, your suppressive fire guys or your marksmen out there kicking ass. You'd have a bunch of officers who can't shoot, can't run, can barely navigate. The war is going to end poorly if you do it that way. So no, I don't think they're drones at all. I think you need laborers, and you need more laborers than anything. And so I think more people than anything are laborers. The freelancer is the person who needs to break away from that structure and create their own, but they still want to be engaged in the labor. They just want to do it their own way. They're not comfortable or really productive in a system that they didn't create. Then the entrepreneur wants to own the game and move the pieces around the chessboard. Right, but you can't have but so many entrepreneurs, otherwise nothing gets done. So no, I would not call them drones. I would call them laborers, and I would call them the essential part of maintaining order in any community or organization. Directed balance instead of being pulled in 7 ways or having no goal. There you go. Jed Roberts said it well. Miguel says, how do you grow self-discipline or self-control? That's the main thing I struggle with. Well, you struggle with it because you don't want anything bad enough. Discipline comes when you want something bad enough, period. Nobody is disciplined without desire. Nobody goes through the grueling crucible of becoming a Navy SEAL without a burning desire to be that Navy SEAL. The guys who ring the bell don't want it bad enough. It's as simple as that. The guys that don't ring the bell are the guys that want it more than the current pain that they're in. So if you're not disciplined in an area of your life, it's because you don't want something bad enough that discipline is required to give you. So focus on your desires, not on trying to develop discipline. That's the trick that most people get wrong, is they try to get disciplined, but you're being disciplined in something you have no desire in. You're not going to do anything you're not incentivized to do. You're not going to do anything that doesn't give you great desire, at least not anything consistent enough to be successful at it. So focus on cultivating your desires. If you don't know what your desires are, go experiment with shit until you figure it out. Let's see. Audrey Berry says, the Muppet psychology, chaos or order. Are you animal or Kermit? No, you're both. You are both. You are both wildly primitive, scared, and aggressive animal and brilliant philosopher. Humans are both. It's about oscillating and balancing the two. Let's see, Hunter said something, but it didn't show up on screen. It's just a blank space. The hero's journey helps you find your shadow and become a better person. That's true. Very true. We talk about the shadow quite a bit a couple podcasts ago. We talked about the artist's journey, which is the sequel to the hero's journey. It's the next step. Okay, so we need to define this. This is a good idea. Page 68. Logic means simply the art and method of correct thinking. It is the logi or method of every science, of every discipline, and every art. Agreed, Aristotle. Here's a good one. This is the story of my life right here. I'm going to make a TikTok video about this. This is great. Nothing is so dull as logic, and nothing is so important. Yes. I love this one too. If you wish to converse with me, said Voltaire. This had nothing to do with Aristotle, but define your terms. I do this all the time. Like, inevitably, I'll have people come on my streams like, dude, are you an atheist? Do you believe in God? I'm like, define belief and define God, and I'll tell you. And usually that response gets no response from the person that asked the question because they realize they asked a very overly basic and parochial question. And then it ends the conversation, which is usually much to my happiness because I hate answering that question because it's incredibly hard to answer succinctly if you've actually given some thought to your beliefs. If you just blindly believe a thing, then yeah, sure. You can just, yeah, I believe in Jesus. Really? Do you? Are you sure about that? The mundane is the foundation of all art. Yeah, absolutely. I think art is us trying to perceive ourselves in the midst of the mundane, understanding that we have a spark of the divine in us, trying to understand why the mundane is, and it's us trying to reconcile our divine nature with the mundane. I like that, man. Check, Captain. I see you, brother. How should we proceed to define an object or a term? Aristotle answers that every good definition has two parts, stands on two solid feet. Every good definition has two parts and stands on two solid feet. First, it assigns the object in question to a class or group whose general characteristics are also its own. So man is, first of all, an animal. And secondly, it indicates wherein the object differs from all other members in its class. So man, in the Aristotelian system, is a rational animal. It's a perfect way to put it. His specific difference is that unlike all other animals, he is rational. Here is the origin of a pretty legend. Aristotle drops an object into the ocean of its class, then takes it out, all dripping with generic meaning, with the marks of its kind and group, while its individuality and difference shine out all the more clearly for this juxtaposition with other objects that resemble it so much and are so different. Wow. Dude is on another level. Did I misspell any of those words? Dang, I got all those words right. Shoot. Balling. Oh, I missed an E in wherein. All right, how many words did I butcher in that? Okay, I just typed a letter twice. That's a fat fingering issue. Ah, always. Sometimes I don't hit the space bar fast enough when I'm typing. All right. No, that is actually not the possessive version of it's. Grammarly. You're messing up Grammarly. Stop trying to fix stuff that ain't wrong. How do I find a mentor? Or should I wait for one to come find me? Well, first of all, start with what it is you're trying to accomplish, right? And then it's seek out people who have already accomplished the thing that you're trying to do at a very high level. And then what you do is you network your way into a relationship with them, right? By adding value to people who can get you in front of them or going directly to them and adding value to them. I'll give you an example. So one of the guys on my team, Tony, I hipped him to a comedian on TikTok who I thought, one, he would like. Tony is also a comedian, so I thought he would learn some stuff from the guy. And my encouragement to him was Tony is, some of the stuff he does for our team, for example, is video editing. It's one of his many skills. And I said, go to the guy and just offer your abilities to him. I'm sure he makes a lot of videos and comedy sketches in addition to doing stand-up comedy. Offer him your services. And at first, do it for free. Now he's doing it for pay. Right? And this guy's also mentoring him as a friend and a comedian and, as a content producer. So it's about creating situations where you can add value to another human being such that they would want to add value back to you. Simple as that. The finding the mentor is not the hard part. It's the asking that most of you struggle with. So when people ask me, how do I find a mentor? It's like, dude, you know how to find one. What you're probably scared to do is ask them to mentor you because you're afraid they're going to say no. Diogenes is always my first thought when it comes to definition. Word. A man is a featherless biped, so he jumps out and says, behold, a man clutching a featherless chicken. That's good. That's good stuff. Say what the battery life on this laptop is not the greatest, but it also is a freaking powerhouse of a machine, so I'm not terribly surprised by that. All right, what else we got? Okay. This is such a good thing, man, about mentors and how the mentee eventually becomes the leader. Such a great story in Aristotle's story, I guess. Yeah. Got a lot to cover in Aristotle. We're going to hold that down right there for now. Let's take these last comments and then get up out of here. I can imagine batteries not loving the RTX 20. Yeah, that's exactly right. But you know, the 2070 is not doing anything right now because literally all I have open is a bunch of Google tabs and my email. I'm not running anything that you can, I don't know, you probably can't hear it, but even the fans aren't on. So the fans aren't even on. So this computer's not doing anything. Uh-oh, my e-statement's ready. How much did my stocks go up? Am I a billionaire yet? I have no idea what my login is. Oh, apparently my computer knows what my login is, though. So here we are. Let's see. Oh, come on. Why do I have to update my password, yo? What are we doing out here? That's good enough. Oh, get out of town, will you? I didn't. I used a different one. Leave me alone. Yes, go to my. I want to know if I'm a billionaire yet. All right, almost. Oh man.
What you doing?
I'm looking at my stock report for specifically my Tesla stock right now.
Socks on. Are you still on video?
I am still on video, but you can be on this video because it's YouTube and not TikTok, and they won't ban me. Say hi to everybody.
Hello. Hold on. I get it.
Are you on break right now?
Not really. I'm just.
Aren't you? Isn't this your lunch and recess time?
Yes, I had recess already.
You already had recess, so now you're gonna have some lunch before you go back to class.
Oh, I don't have a class anymore.
You don't have class at noon?
No.
What about 1 o'clock?
I don't know. I mean, I doing it at the right time, and they didn't tell me anything except I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, do you have any seesaw work to do?
Yes, I'm waiting for Mom to come and help.
Okay, maybe I'll help you.
Okay, but
Because I think mommy's getting ready for a meeting she has tomorrow.
No, she doesn't. Anyways.
What?
What?
Mommy has an important meeting tomorrow. I think she's getting ready for it. I think that's where she is right now.
She said she'll meet me down to do seesaw work.
Right. And I think right now she's working on something else.
Yeah, she's just on her phone. I saw her doing.
Okay.
She's just on her phone right now. So yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye, YouTube. I actually have my own YouTube account.
I know. That's good. You should start making videos and talking about your new product that you launched, your jewelry, your women's jewelry. You should talk about that on your channel. Huh? You're making it for men too?
Yes.
That's right. You made me one too. So yeah. So you should make videos about that. Tell the world about your cool art.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Good to finally get onto a live of yours. Your videos have helped me understand aspects of myself and grow as a person and father. Got to go make food and stuff and keep up the good work. Yeah, thank you, Jed. I appreciate you, brother. Cheese says it's always a pleasure to see how you interact with your kids. Love and respect overall. As a shout, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I love these little guys. They are part of the reason I get out of bed every day. Part of the reason I'm still alive, to be honest with you. I think if I didn't have a wife and kids after the military, I probably wouldn't have made it. It's just the reality. It's just the reality. If I didn't have somebody else to fight for until I learned how to fight for myself, I don't think I would have. Anyway, I'm going to get up out of here, guys. I'm going to go Actually need to send some text messages about calls and stuff that I need to be on. I have a show that a friend wants me to be on this week. I got to schedule that. So I'm going to ball out. I'll probably hang out on TikTok a little bit later on, do some more reading, do some more hanging. Thanks again, and congratulations to Rydera for getting into the Good Life Playbook. You will not be disappointed. If you can't find a course in there that you're looking for, let me know. Um, it may be one of the ones that hasn't been posted yet, or we're making updates to the website, and I can keep you posted. Stuff that you're looking for. Anyway, you guys stay strong. I'll see you back here no later than Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, we'll get some time tomorrow in between that to hang on a YouTube stream, play some games, and hang. But we'll definitely be back for the Thursday night live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday evening on YouTube right here. So until next time, y'all, stay cool, stay strong. I'll see you soon.